Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in again to the Carl and Jacquees show. This is what we call Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk.
And tonight we're actually going to be talking about communication. A friend of mine thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about communication and how we do that given our differences, because we are opposite one another, as you all may have probably already recognized.
Facts.
So I'll start by saying that I am absolutely a headliner. I want you to get straight to the point. I don't need all the extra stuff in between. And Carl, you are?
I'm a storyteller, not to be confused with a liar. Storyteller is someone who has to take you down a long road to explain so many. That's how you feel? This is how we start in this situation right now? It's every time. So anyways, yes. Storyteller is someone who likes to give you a lot of intricate details about whatever it is that you're talking about and basically take you the long way to wherever you're going. It can be frustrating for headliners.
It can be. I've definitely learned over the years to be more patient and try to engage more, make sure that, I let him know that I'm actually listening and I'm not just, like a fly on the wall, because so I've been told I can make him feel that way sometimes. So that's something that I have to work on. It's a work in progress. It's something that I constantly work on all the time.
I get it. So, but a free tip for all you headliners out there: when you're listening, headliners, try not to use the same words over and over again. If you're at the point where you're still pretending to listen, you don't want to say, "Oh, that's crazy," and then wait a few seconds and say, "Oh, that's crazy," and then wait another minute and then say, "Oh, that's crazy." It'll get to the point where you're the crazy person, because there's no way.
You gotta relax. I was not saying that's crazy that many times.
No, but
you gotta chill.
No.
No.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not saying you. I've seen people do this, and there's been many Instagram posts about it too, where if I keep telling you it's crazy and you haven't said anything crazy, get the hint. I'm not listening.
Kind of like, oh, okay.
That's the best one. Oh, okay. I like when D.L. Hughley was like, she's talking about her day and she's complaining about some heifer at work, and he like, I never liked the heifer anyway. Like, that's going above and beyond to engage,
On a more serious note, it's absolutely important to make sure that, you let your partner know that you're listening. You make sure that you let them know that you care. You make sure that you let them know that you're not judging them, but you just are there to listen, because it's not always that you have to talk to them and you want them to fix something, or you need a response from them to do something specific, or sometimes you just simply want to vent, and all they have to do is just sit there and listen to you, or sit there and be a shoulder for you to cry on. Whatever it is that you need, just let them say what they have to say and get it out the way. On another note, it's important, especially for people who've been together for an extended period of time. We can get really, really comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
To where we know each other very, very well. So in some instances, we finish each other's sentences. We know what the other person's needs are without them even having to open up their mouth and ask us or tell us what those needs are. That's great, right?
However,
but it should not be an expectation. And that's something that we have to learn as people. Just because you know someone and they know you very well and you've been with them for a really long time does not mean you should expect them to know something, even if they usually do. That is just something that you're going to have to get used to, and you still have to ask. You still have to express yourself, period. And that's something that we struggle with, because We've been together for so long. We do finish each other's sentences. We do know what each other's needs are. But then we fall into these spaces where
You guess wrong.
he guesses wrong or I guess wrong. And then, or it's a situation where I'm expecting him to do something and he's not doing it. Even in communication, I'll say one thing and mean something completely different. And then it'll turn into a back and forth because I'm looking at him like, you know me though. You should know that's not what I meant. And that's not fair. That's not fair to him, and it's not fair if the shoe was on the other foot either. So we have to be very careful, especially for those of you people who've been together for a while.
Yeah.
That is an area that we have to work on and we have to be, conscious of, because it can happen very easily. It happens over here all the time. I kid you not, over the silliest things.
That's true. But I like the place that we're in now, to where we get to the point where it's like, I didn't even mean that. Yeah, I wasn't even on that planet of thought. And then it's like, wait a minute. What do I do with my hands?
I got that all wrong.
I got that. And I'll be honest, I thought you was coming for me on that situation. She's like, why? I haven't seen you all day. We just got in each other's presence 7 minutes ago. Why would I be coming for you? You got me pegged wrong. And then we take a step back and my bad. I apologize. When you learn to apologize and learn to be honest about that apology, but put action behind that apology, then you can get through it. So,
what do you think some things are that you should never say in a relationship? See what I did there?
that was pretty good.
That was a Carl joke. That was a dad joke.
That was.
Seriously, no. What do you think some things are that you want to stay away from in a conversation?
Mamas.
Yeah.
Talking about people's parents.
Well, I hope you guys aren't talking about your parents. Like,
Your moms.
I hope that's not even something that we have to even talk about.
But I would say you want to stay away from words like never and always when you're dealing with your spouse. You never take me anywhere nice, or you always forget to pick your socks up off the floor. You don't want to use words like never and always. No infinites, because nothing is infinite other than the love you should have for each other.
Why don't you want to use those type of words in a conversation?
Because they are never true. You see what I did there? I did the flip. It's just not true. No one always does the wrong thing. No one never does the right thing. It's just not true. It would seem like you're attacking them. You are doing this thing wrong all the time. Your value is less because of this. What if it's something you don't want to go into?
I tell you that too. And you're working hard at accepting that and letting me tell you what I want to tell you at the appropriate time, because it's not so much that I'm withholding information from you. There is a time and place for everything. And as soon as I'm dealing with something, or as soon as something comes to my mind, it's not necessarily always the best time to talk to you about it.
Right.
It's levels to this. I may need to pray about that thing for a little while. I may need to just sit on it for a little while, get my thoughts together, let me understand what it is first before I can even begin to talk to you or anybody else about it. Like, that is something that I definitely know about myself. I will sit on something and think about it and pray about it before I say anything about it. And that's just my process.
Yeah.
That's me being careful, basically. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say something that's not necessary. And I know that sometimes the things that I say may not be easy to hear. They may hurt, but the most important thing to know about me is I'm never going to say something to hurt you intentionally. So if it hurt, I apologize that it hurt, but I'm not trying to hurt you. It just so happens that my truth is not something that you necessarily wanted to hear. So that's something important for you to remember when you're dealing with your spouse. This person is the person that you love. They love you. So if they tell you something and it doesn't quite sit right with you, and it may hurt your feelings and make you feel away, that's fine. Express that to them. But at the end of the day, just remember that that's the person that loves you. That's the person that you love, and this person is your partner. This is your teammate. This is not your enemy. So if they say something to you that you don't necessarily agree with or hurts your feelings, you got to take a step back and think about that situation and why they may have said that to you, because it's not because they're against you. So just keep that in mind.
So then your spouse or your significant other would be somebody that you don't want to go to war against, but someone that you want to go to war with.
Exactly.
So you got to remember what side of the lines you stand on. Are we in this together, me and you against the world, or are we against each other because you don't like my mashed potatoes?
Right.
Simple. It's usually simple stuff. It really is. And the reason why we talked about this in the first video about loving yourself and getting to know yourself first before you try to extend yourself to someone else is because you need to love yourself. You need to be able to hear criticism and not let your ego destroy or put a wedge between you and your significant other. Being able to put your pride aside is not easy for human beings.
You're right.
But if you come to love yourself for real, see, that fake pride is boastful, but real pride, it's quiet, it's silent, and it's strong, and it moves smoothly.
Talk about it.
You know? So when you have real pride in yourself, you don't have to beat your chest and be loud and boisterous about it. You be nice and quiet. It's like, oh, all of these people seem to think very highly of themselves in here. Well, I know who I am. You know, so it's quiet. But like I said, you get your pride together, and then you put it aside for the people you love. So you always want to be careful and be respectful of one another. But if I'm honest with you about something that you're doing or did, then take it in love. And sometimes you may want to preface what you're saying with, listen, I'm coming to you in love. I do not want a war with you. I want to tell you something honestly. And like she said, use wisdom, because in the heat of an argument, it might not be the right time to say, hey, well, since we're being honest.
Or immediately when something just was dropped in your lap. Just wait.
Just wait.
Let it marinate. Figure that thing out first. Like, wrap your own head around it before you can effectively communicate it to your spouse. Just don't word vomit all over them. Like, think about it, pray about it, meditate on it for a minute, and then share it.
Come across the aisle and work with each other.
And stay away from negative words like never and always. Try not to use those words in a conversation, whether it's a regular conversation or an argument. Just stay away from those two words, because they are going to take you down a path that I promise you do not want to go down. And before you know it, you won't even be talking about whatever the subject matter is anymore. You'll be arguing over, you said, I never do this, or I always do that. Please just stay away from it.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to mention that the main key in communicating with someone who communicates differently than you need to learn, understand, and respect how they communicate. And if you both are doing that, then you'll always be able to communicate effectively.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you coming back to watch our videos. Remember to follow us on Instagram at
The Carl and Jacque Show. Send in your topics and questions and scenarios to askcarlandjacque@gmail.com.
God loves you, so love yourself first so that you can effectively love someone else. Be blessed.
And enjoy yourself.